If you have ever had your entire day ruined by a single careless comment, a rude stranger, or a minor mistake, you are carrying a weapon that is slowly destroying you from the inside out. You replay the argument in your head for hours. You imagine what you should have said. You let your heart race and your jaw clench while the person who offended you is probably sleeping completely peacefully. To understand the ancient secret of letting go, we must travel to the bustling, sunlit cobblestone streets of a grand merchant city. Here lived a young, elite guardsman named Kalen. Kalen was known throughout the city for two things: his unmatched skill with a bow and his explosive, uncontrollable temper. He demanded absolute perfection from himself and from everyone around him. If a baker gave him a loaf of bread that was slightly burnt, Kalen would seethe with anger for the entire morning. If a cart blocked his path in the street, he would curse the driver and carry a dark cloud over his head for the rest of the day. He believed his anger made him strong. He believed it demanded respect. But in reality, it was an exhausting, heavy armor that kept him in a constant state of war with the world. One beautiful spring afternoon, Callan was walking through the artisan district, wearing his immaculate, crisp white, ceremonial uniform. He had spent hours pressing and cleaning it for a military parade later that evening. As he passed a small, cramped calligraphy stall, a clumsy apprentice tripped over a wooden stool. The apprentice stumbled forward, knocking over a massive glass jar of deep, black ink. The thick ink splashed directly across Kellen's pristine white uniform, ruining it instantly and completely. The apprentice fell to his knees, trembling and apologizing profusely, tears streaming down his face. But Kellen's vision went red. The rage exploded out of his chest. He shouted at the boy, cursed the shop owner, and stormed away, his heart pounding violently against his ribs. He marched back to his quarters, his mind racing with furious thoughts. How could he be so stupid? Kalen muttered to himself. He has completely ruined my evening. He has disrespected me. I will be humiliated at the parade. For the next 6 hours, Kalen paced his room. He skipped his lunch because his stomach was tied in knots. He yelled at a fellow guard who asked him a simple question. He rehearsed over and over again in his head how he would go back to the stall the next day and demand the apprentice be fired. He was entirely consumed by the black stain on his uniform. Later that evening, unable to attend the parade and unable to calm his racing mind, Kalen walked to the edge of the city to visit an old, quiet watchmaker named Master Elian. Elian was a man of profound stillness, surrounded by thousands of ticking clocks, yet completely undisturbed by the noise. Kalen burst into the shop, still wearing his stained uniform, and aggressively recounted the entire story of the careless apprentice. The ruined clothes and the destroyed evening. He paced the wooden floorboards, his face flushed with heat. Master Elian sat quietly at his workbench, carefully adjusting a tiny golden gear with a pair of tweezers. He let Kalen vent his fury until the young guard finally collapsed into a chair, exhausted and breathless. Elian set down his tools, looked at Kalen calmly, and spoke in a soft, steady voice. Tell me, Kalen, when the ink struck your chest, did it burn your skin? Did it break your bones? Did it cause you physical agony? Kalen frowned confused by the question. "No, Master Alien, it is just ink. It only ruined my clothing." "I see." The old watchmaker nodded slowly. The physical event, the splash of the ink, lasted for perhaps 1 single second. That was the first arrow. The first arrow is the pain that the world inflicts upon us. It is the unavoidable clumsiness of others, the accidents, the illnesses, the losses. We cannot control the first arrow. It strikes when it strikes. Elian stood up and walked over to Kalen, pointing a weathered finger at the young man's chest. "But you, my friend, have been bleeding for 6 hours. You skipped your meal. You alienated your friend. You paced your room in agony. You have spent the entire day punishing yourself for a mistake someone else made." That is the second arrow. The first arrow was shot by the apprentice. But the second arrow, the anger, the resentment, the rehearsed arguments, the ruined day, that arrow was shot by you. And you aimed it directly at your own heart. Kalen sat in stunned silence. The ticking of the clocks suddenly seemed incredibly loud in the small room. He thought about the apprentice, who was likely at home right now, eating dinner with his family, perhaps feeling a bit guilty, but otherwise moving on with his life. Meanwhile, Kalen had spent 6 hours trapped in a prison of his own making, drinking the poison of his own anger and expecting the clumsy apprentice to die from it. We all experience the first arrow. Master Elian continued softly, returning to his workbench. Life is full of careless people, unfair situations, and unpredictable storms. But the suffering, the heavy, exhausting, endless suffering that comes entirely from the second arrow. It comes from your refusal to accept that the ink has already spilled. You are fighting a war against the past, and it is a war you will lose every single time. Slowly, the tension began to drain from Kellen's shoulders. The heat left his face. He looked down at the black stain on his white uniform, and for the first time that day, he didn't feel rage. He just felt tired. He realized that his anger wasn't a shield. It was a blade he was constantly pressing against his own skin. Artisan district. He wore a simple, casual tunic. He stopped by the calligraphy stall. The young apprentice froze in terror, expecting a violent confrontation. Instead, Kalen reached into his pouch, placed a few coins on the table to pay for the spilled ink, offered a gentle nod, and walked away. He felt lighter than he had in years. He had finally learned to stop shooting himself. The next time someone cuts you off in traffic, insults you, or makes a mistake that inconveniences you, remember Kalen and the ink. You cannot stop the first arrow from flying, but you have total control over whether you pick up the bow and shoot the second one. Before you go, I want you to look at your own life right now. What is the second arrow you are currently shooting yourself with? What situation are you making worse by holding onto anger? Tell me your story in the comments below. If you are ready to put the bow down and find real peace, subscribe to Deep Tales Vault. Let go of the anger, and we will see you in the next story.